As that city is Dublin, as he's on his honeymoon. I'm back here in Calgary, but you know what? That's a good thing. Enjoy Dublin, buddy. It's Wine Wednesday, and I'm here. Dave Rowe sitting in for Joe McFarland. Eric Southward from Co-op Wine Spirit joins us on a Wine Wednesday. We're also Facebook Live. Hi, everybody. Eric, hi, Eric. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Dave?
Good. I'm very good because not only is it Wine Wednesday, it's a bonus Wine Wednesday because you have brought not one, but two fabulous California wines in for us today. What do we have?
Absolutely. I thought if Joe's in Europe, we'll be drinking a little more. Hey, just increase the fun. But we're having two wines from California. These wines are called the Barrel Burner. Cabernet Sauvignon is the red, and I brought in their Chardonnay as well. They're from Central California. Right now, they're currently on our ad at all Co-op locations. They're $16.99. You're saving about $8.50 on these. This is the last day of the sale, so you're going to want to run to our Co-op locations to grab some.
And I think you are going to want to run here because these are a couple of good-looking wines. We were talking about this just before we came on. I remember the last time I was doing Wine Wednesday, we had a wine from Washington State, which good stuff, but again, a very small part of the industry. California continues to be really the juggernaut for the wine coming out of the U.S.
Absolutely, and I think in this market in particular, the U.S. wines still kind of dominate. And I think it's for a couple reasons. One, they just suit our palate in Canada and Alberta. They make, it's really sunny in California, right? So the grapes get extra rich and extra velvety, and that just kind of hits the sweet spot for us. But also, I think they usually, the labels are pretty easy to understand. They put a grape on the label, which kind of gives you an idea of what you can expect. European labels can still be a little tricky, they can be quite mysterious. It's tough to know what you're getting into sometimes. So add all that up, and people travel to California. You can fall in love with, Napa Valley and parts of Central California. So people know the areas a little bit too, and add all that up, and California dominates still. And I mean, despite problems, with drought, with wildfire, though, and even just with the size of the market, they just continue to keep that quality up. They still there's no drop off just because sort of spoiled by their own success. Yeah, absolutely. And also, especially in Alberta, like it's freezing cold most of the year here. Yes, it is. And so we want something that's full-bodied and it's going to live up to or stand up to, all the Alberta beef that we eat and these bigger, richer dishes and their Cabernet Sauvignons that they make. And we're having one today. They just kind of cozy up to steak really well. So should we start with the Cab? Absolutely. Why wait? Yeah. So this is something where it's called Barrel Burner because these definitely are oaky. We're bringing in a style of wine today that is, kind of on a polar extreme of styles. And so if you like big, full-bodied, rich, thick, oaky, spicy wines, like this is going to hit your sweet spot. And actually the trend in the wine world is going the other way. And so these are examples of wines where if you like this style, like just remember Barrel Burner because they hit that style really well. And the trend is towards lighter, less oaky wines. But if you come in, my store and you look for that, like at times I'm struggling to find those styles and this brand really seems to nail it. Is it fair to say, almost like an old school versus a new school way of thinking for? Not necessarily. I think just, wine trends seems to go in cycles, back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, this was the style. This is what everyone was making. We were falling in love with rich, heavy, boozy, oaky wines and those really light, tangy, acidic styles weren't in favor. And I'm not sure why, but it's just going the other way. So people are looking for fresher styles, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily like that lighter style, right? We still need these flavors in our toolkit, so to speak, because everyone has different tastes. Everyone has a different occasion. And these wines are still relevant for sure. Well, I got to tell you, everything you were giving me for tasting notes here is ticking a lot of my boxes here. So. Yeah, you and a lot of other people. So, and the Chardonnay, again, like it's a style that is very rich and buttery and creamy. It's not very fruity, and you get that kiss of oak. And some people love that, right? And especially if you're eating creamy dishes, creamy pastas, or if you're having a fish in a cream sauce, If you're able to splurge special occasion, you have some, something like a lobster or a crab, which is pretty decadent. This is that classic pairing.
I've got to tell you, that is delicious, and it hits every bullet point that you had there. That is a wine that stands up and says hello. That is just like the full body, like the flavor, the spiciness. It's all right there.
Yeah, these are not subtle wines.
No,
like if you want, and these are wines too. We tend to, maybe put on some Netflix, have a glass of wine, or for some people it's a beer or a cocktail. But these are smooth enough where you don't need really food. Like they're super velvety. You can binge watch your favorite program or watch a movie, and these are ready to go.
Talk about binging something else here. I guess I should try. What was the movie? It was in Bruges or something where they were like complaining about unoaked Chardonnays or something like that.
That's right. Yeah, in Belgium. But again, it's just a style preference, and at Co-op, we try to teach our salespeople not to recommend wines that they like, but to recommend wines that the customer will like. Everyone has different tastes, right? So this is an extreme. Like it is a style. If you love oaky, spicy flavors in your wine, or flavors like vanilla, you're going to love these wines. And if you don't, that's okay too. But I think the exciting thing about wine and increasingly beer and spirits is the range of flavors and the range of textures you can experience is huge, and that's the fun. And
again, with the Chardonnay, it's sort of like very rich, lots of flavor. It's funny, like a lot of my white I like chilled. I think this one I'd almost prefer like unchilled, just to let the flavor stand on its own.
Absolutely, and the bigger the wine, the heavier the wine, you're going to want to serve it a little less chilled. And again. Conversely, if you're having a lighter red wine, the thought is that you want that, room temp. But actually what's best is if you can put a bit of a chill on it, it's going to accentuate the best parts of that light, fresh wine, and maybe not cold, but definitely throw it in the fridge for a couple minutes, and you're going to get the best out of your light reds too.
Yeah, and just to finish up, to Chardonnay, it's almost taken some hits as just being okay. That's sort of the everyday wine. It's the one everyone knows. Oh, Chardonnay. But this is still a big player in the white wine market.
Number one white, grape planted in the world. And the great thing is if you don't like this style of Chardonnay, this big, rich, buttery, oaky style, well, it's kind of a chameleon. You can make it in this very light, tangy, refreshing unoaked style that it more resembles like a Pinot Grigio or Sauvignon Blanc. My wife doesn't particularly like this oaky style, and so I will pour her a glass of wine, and I'll be like, "Oh, do you like this?" And she'll be like, "I love it. What is it?" It's Chardonnay. It's the unoaked style, right? Surprise. So you can get it any way you want.
And the best thing is at Co-op, you don't have to go in alone. You've got knowledgeable staff there that can help you out with everything that you need.
Absolutely. And all we want to do is recommend wines that you like to drink, that'll suit your budget, and is right for the occasion. That's all we're trying to do.
Barrel Burner Chardonnay, Barrel Burner Cabernet Sauvignon. They're on sale until closing time tonight.
10 p.m.
10 p.m. We'll look forward to another visit from Co-op next week. Eric Southward, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. At time.